So my name is Mikayla Boykin. I'm a current player on Duke women's basketball team. I'm here with Lindsey Harding, the Lindsey Harding, a legend. So a little background on Lindsey. She is the current assistant coach / player development coach for the Sacramento Kings for the NBA. Former #1 WNBA draft pick in 2007. Her number 10 jersey, this is just so legendary to me. Number 10 jersey was retired at Duke in 2002-2003 season to 2006-2007 season. She had the Duke letter winner, led Duke to 2003 and 2006 NCAA Final Four, 2007 National Player of the Year, 2007 National Defensive Player of the Year. Wow, that's big time right there. Something I aspire to do. So we can start off with the first question. So you know that you're taking big steps now and you're the assistant coach for the Sacramento Kings. So how has your experience been so far working in the NBA?
So far, it's been a great experience. I've had kind of 3 different roles in the last almost 2 years since I've been in the NBA. First, I was a scout, so that's just sitting, watching games, a ton of games, pro personnel, so all NBA games. Then transitioned to player development coach, which I'm on the floor with the guys playing. And now, doing that as well, player development and being an assistant coach. So it's been a great experience. The guys are awesome. I've been lucky enough to be working with a great staff, very open staff. So I haven't had much to complain about just yet, but would like to have more wins. But other than that, it's been a great experience.
So how has your relationship been with the players, especially being one of the first female coaches for the Sacramento Kings? How has your relationship been with, just building that relationship with the players and things like that?
Yeah, they total respectful. Like, they appreciate what I've done. They know that I've done a lot, possibly more than what some of them have or will do. And they're like, you're a pro, you've done it, you've been there, you understand the game, you see it from our point of view. So the respect was already there. It's not like I have to come and, I have to prove myself. It's like I've already done that. So like the guys are never the problem at all. But, just get to know people. I think one thing about me as just a person, I'm very personable. I like to get to know people, and the more you give of yourself, the more they give back, right? And as a player, when someone really is authentic and really cares about you, you tend to push more, you listen more, you trust more. So I take time, away from basketball. I take time maybe going to have coffee or going to eat or going to just learn about someone's family and who they are and what makes them tick, because I think that makes me a better coach, because then I will know kind of what buttons to push. And when you develop that relationship, you can kind of say anything to each other because it's coming from a good place. So that's what I know I wanted as a player. I wanted to feel that someone was authentic and someone really did care about my well-being and me as a player. So I try to do that, and then, get out there and they trust me more.
So kind of going off of that a little bit, I know I've said this a couple times already, but how proud of you of yourself to be one of the, many, I think 11 women in the assistant coaches in the NBA. How proud are you of yourself to be that trendsetter and kind of jump into this role of being one of the first women in the NBA?
I think it's pretty awesome, actually. I didn't expect this. I didn't plan this. I wasn't in college saying I want to be an NBA coach. I just kind of fell into it, if that makes sense. I meet a lot of people. People who know me know I don't really, they say I never met a stranger, so I talk a lot and meet a lot of people, and just opportunity just kept presenting itself right in front of me, and I just took one step at a time, and it led to a lot of things. I worked in the NBA league office for a year, and with that I had the chance to meet a ton of people, and then it opened up to scouting and opened up to coaching. So I'm excited to be one of the first to do this. Now, understand the NBA is 30 teams, 30 head coaches, and then with all the different assistant coaches and types of assistant coaches, there could be maybe 8 or 10 on each team. So times that by 30 and there's only 11, it's still a long way for us to go. And we're real proud and happy about it. But I get excited and about the future when it's no more of this like, oh, the first female this or so-and-so female coach, you get tired of those labels sometimes, and you can't wait for that to go. But that means more people, maybe people like you, come up and say, this is something I want to do, and go and do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see a lot of it's just been a lot of sparks and stuff coming from social media and stuff about women getting into bigger roles in the sports industry, even like with the rap industry, things like that. So I feel like that's a really, really cool thing to see a lot of women taking the initiative and jumping into these higher authority roles and things like that. But so another question I wanted to have was, I know that COVID-19 has shut down a lot of the things that we can do, and we've been shut down for probably 2 months now. What are some things that you and the coaching staff are doing to stay in touch with the players and try to keep that contact with them and still build relationships, although y'all away from each other?
Well, talk all the time, right? Whether it's text, whether it's on Zoom or FaceTime, just to kind of connect, first off, really to see how people are doing. A lot of people are having a hard time with just kind of being away and kind of quarantining, and so I always want to check on the well-being of all of my players to make sure that they're good, and then from there just seeing how workouts are going, what they're doing. We meet as a staff on Zoom and kind of talk about certain things. We also have we actually just got a little team building assignment from Luke Walton, our head coach, for staff building, I guess. He sent us all a book to read, and we kind of have a little homework. We're just going to answer some questions about things, about, in a sense, what the book means to us and some of our experiences, and just kind of share it with each other. We do once a week yoga on Zoom. So you try to do that. I know I see a lot of our guys are on IG live sometimes a little too much.
Yeah.
And I check on them, it's unfortunate when you click on it, your name pops up and I'm like, dang it. But they're doing well. I just keep reminding them that this is a time that they'll never get again. Like, you'll never get an opportunity to where the world stood still, right? And you can take time for yourself. So like, turn it into a positive, enjoy it, do the things that you never really have time to do or wanted to do, but you just never really put the time to it, because once this is over, you're going to get back to moving very quickly.
Yeah. I know this time has brought it, for me, I know at least, I did a lot of self-reflecting on myself in my life. So for you, what are some long-term goals that you kind of have in mind for yourself for the future?
Like you said, goals?
Yes, so like long-term goals for yourself.
Well, for one, I think that you're using this time correctly. I think that that's a great thing to do, is really just like be able to be with yourself, be able to self-reflect. I've been doing a lot of meditation now. I've always wanted to get into it, but now it's something that I do every day, maybe twice a day. And when there's silence, there tends to be more clarity and peacefulness. And now this is something that I'm going to implement in my life, no matter how busy I am, to be able to, stand still and not think, because we're used to that. I guess you could say I have a ton of goals in mind, little goals, right? And then some major ones. I learned when I first started in the NBA, I had a goal to do one thing, and then an opportunity took me somewhere else. So I know, for one, I'm going to look at every opportunity that's put in front of me and see, is this going to help me grow? Is this going to help me learn? I may not know where it's going to take me, but if it's going to help make me better, history has shown me with my experiences that it pushed me on to something greater. As a coach that I'm, coaching now, being able to be, a head coach or pushing in that direction would be amazing. Even like in management too. I started off as a scout, building a team. In college, the whole like recruiting thing, trying to get guys to come, it's kind of similar in that way when you're going after free agents and guys aren't in the NBA, so you kind of have to recruit them in a way. And then, the scouting part of that, of your drafting people. So building a team is interesting as well. But right now as a coach, I just want to get better. I want to learn and just kind of see where it takes me.
Yeah. I get that.
What about you?
Yeah, so I've been doing a lot of self-reflecting on myself. I've had a long history with injuries and things like that, which is something that I overcame, and I'm working to stay healthy and so I can maintain and last throughout these last couple seasons. But I found a lot of things about myself that I didn't really know was there or I didn't really take serious. So one thing that I do now is I do a lot of writing. I like to write music. So that's one thing that I've been focused on a lot. And it's something that I want to pursue in the future after I, try to achieve my goals that I have set with basketball. And just, trying to keep in touch with my friends and make sure they're fine. Because being college students and being away from our environment, it's kind of tough to, people are going home to environments that, aren't really the best situations. So just trying to make sure my friends stay uplifted and are focused on what they have to do rather than get caught up in the wrong things. It's something that I've been focused on a lot since I've been at home. So, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I know you talked about meditating and things like that, which I feel like I need to start doing because I feel like it would be so peaceful for me. But are there any other activities that you're kind of doing to keep yourself active during this time?
I run a lot. I've always been a runner. You can ask Coach Niche, whatever y'all call Coach. I call her Juanisha Smith. I call her my little baby Juanisha Smith. I've always been a runner. Right? I hate lifting. I hate doing all of that. I did it, but it's like that's too hard for me.
Okay,
but
so
like running all day.
Finished the mile in like 5 minutes, huh? The mile test.
I mean, I used to. Okay, this is what was bad. We had our little times. I would like lap people, but if I missed my time by 1 second, I had to do it again. And I was like, this is ridiculous. And it was because you're faster, you have to do it. So I was like, this is so unfair. I made a mistake in coming out my freshman year and like killing it. And then next thing you know, it's like, yeah, you got to get like 5:45 or whatever the time was. You got to get it every time. And I'm like, I just lapped them. I just lapped them. But yeah, that was good old times. But no, I like to run. I do some lifting. I have like a rower I do. So like that's just kind of more my thing. And then of course, whenever I have, during this season of basketball, kind of playing and all that stuff that kind of keeps you in shape. But right now, it's just been a lot of moving out there too. A little bit of landscaping outside, planting, digging, all that stuff. That's hard work. But that's kind of what I've been doing.
Okay. Bringing back to like the Duke days, Cameron is one of the best, well, not one of the best spot to play in college basketball. So could you tell me about your favorite moment in Cameron?
Favorite moment in Cameron? I think this was the first, one of the first sellouts we had. It was UConn at home. I got to get the year. Maybe it was my freshman year. And they tinted out for the games. Where the Krzyzewskiville was, They were tinting out for that game. And it was awesome because we were like, it was like one of the first times that they'd ever done that. And it was nuts. It was, you had the best players and a lot of the best players now in the WNBA, but like Diana Taurasi, was playing. You know, Elena Beard was here, and we it was just 1 versus 2 at Cameron. And the crazy thing is with the Cameron Crazies going nuts, I'll just, you know, and I know the guys have that a lot, but the entire floor would like shake whenever you're just not playing and you're standing still waiting for the ball to get passed in, and they're just going nuts all around the arena. I just remember the floor just rumbling under my feet. And I'm just like, this is what it's about. I was like, these are the times that I love. Of course you want to win every game, but I'm like, I love those environments, and I love those times, you know, beating UNC, especially at home. That's just the best feeling ever. But I do, there's nothing like college. I've played in every arena, from the WNBA, Olympics, and in Europe. I've played all of those places, but there's nothing like being in college, having the fans that are like loyal to the grave, right? And when it's packed, it's unbelievable. Mm-hmm. And I haven't had that feeling since. I miss that feeling. I do. But it was one of the best memories, and I have several other ones that are like that, but I just remember that being like the first time that I felt that whole thing. Yeah. And then it became kind of normal, but I was like, whoa, it is so loud in here. Whoa. Yeah. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. I would say, yeah, that's just one of the biggest things for me being at Duke too, playing in front of the best fans in the world. I know a couple of our UNC games have been very packed, and, you know, I had similar feelings, not like you described, but, you know, hopefully this year we can get it to where it's like you described. But let's shift gears a little bit. I know we was talking about Cameron, but as far as like the Duke community and like the culture of Duke, what was some of your best memories that Duke has like thus far, or so far?
Favorite memory at Duke? Remember one time, I think I was a sophomore. It snowed, kind of snowed, whatever. And we went to the cafeteria and got all the trays, and we're sliding down the little hills. Sledding down the hills with the trays. We got in big trouble for that, but everyone was doing it. So we got it was like a little hill, and everyone was like running, getting these trays and just like sliding down. That was like really good times. I remember my first year. I remember, you know, my coach Gail Guest, of course, you know, recruited me. Come to Duke, it's amazing. I'm like, I don't do well in the cold. It doesn't get cold. I don't do well in snow. Don't worry about it, Lindsey. It won't, you know, it's not that bad. It was the worst ice storm and cold in like 50 years, my freshman year. And I go out to my car, like this thick layer of ice on my car. I don't even like have a scrape. I don't know what I'm doing. And so I see these other kids from Canada, and they're like jumping on the car all happy, scraping. I'm like, I'll give you $20 if you can like get my car going. And so I remember pulling in to practice, and I came in with like this death stare looking at her, and I was like, you lied to me. You brought me here and you lied to me. But it was never that cold again. Having parties with my teammates, going out with my teammates. It was fun. Having people come over was fun. I was off campus, and I was roommates with a couple of my teammates, and we just had people over all the time. Those are the memories that you have more than anything, the things that are fun and you kind of do together, you know, burning the benches that they do. It's it's all fun.
Yeah. I know one thing that some of my teammates have talked to me about is trying to find friends that are not inside like the basketball world at Duke.
Yeah.
What's some advice that you would give to my teammates about, you know, just going out and finding friends who aren't playing sports?
I think you meet a lot of people in your classes, you know, whether like your study groups, which I had a lot. I also knew that, you know, when you walked into class, you're going to be missing so much of it. It's like, you know, you have tutors, but you always want someone in class, or some people in class that are willing to study with you and help. Mm-hmm. So I became friends with a lot of them I think that that's kind of the best. I mean, you see people all the time, but when you see them on a schedule every single day, and then after it's just like, hey, let's go eat. Hey, I'll invite you to one of our games. Get them into one of the games. Put yourself out and hang out. It's really easy to be stuck in the athlete bubble. You're all, you're kind of all around each other, going to the same thing. And still, some of my great friends from Duke are all athletes, but it is stepping out, and you may have to be the one to do it because of being a basketball player or whatever you are at Duke. You kind of have this extra. I don't want to say like people may be intimidated, but they may not be the first to say, hey, do you want to go to dinner? So like, see someone's pretty cool, think that you guys can hang out, hey, let's go get coffee, let's go get dinner, let's go breakfast, whatever, and see where that goes.
So one thing that I've been itching to ask you about, because I love and I always study your game down to the T. So what is some advice that you could give me, being a point guard and coming into my junior year at Duke? Well, I don't actually know what year I am, but just
basketball.
Yeah.
This is your team. That's the responsibility that you have to take. This is your team. They go as you go. You have to come every day ready for practice. If you're tired and you're sore and you don't feel like it, which is normal, you have to fake it. You have to come in with enthusiasm and energy every single day. And and it becomes contagious. You can't accept mediocrity. You can't accept mistakes. No, you strive for perfection. You strive for something that's impossible to achieve. But that's what's going to make you great. So if you're supposed to make 60 baskets with 0 turnovers during this drill, and there were 2 turnovers and you made 58, that is not even good. That's not even close to good enough if you want to be a championship team. You have to really just come in with the mindset of, this is how we're going to do it, and you have to do it. When you have to run sprints or do whatever, you have to bust your butt and try to come in first every time. If you come in early, get shots up, stay late, get shots up. People need to see you doing things. One thing on the whole Last Dance that's been playing right now with ESPN with Michael Jordan that he said that I loved, he said, I never asked people to do something I didn't do or I wasn't doing. And that to me, even though there were some up and downs with things, as a basketball player, that is part of leadership. So and it's having relationships with your coaches, being able to be honest. You're the coach on the floor, right? You want to be able to call things and do things knowing what your coach is going to want. So you have to always have that communication open and being honest. I mean, there were times where, Coach G would call something for someone, and I'm out here and I'm in my junior year and we have this trust, and I'm just like, no, this, like, no. And it's like, it became where she's like, go, like, I trust you. And then there have been times where she's like, Lindsey, what the heck are you, no. And we'll kind of change it up and do what she was telling me to do. But take it on as like, this is our team. When you can't get a defensive stop, like, even if it's not technically your man, like, this is on me. Like, how could I have made us better? Like, how can I have made her box out better? Was it practice? Am I allowing it to not happen? When a shot goes up, should I be screaming every time, hit somebody, check somebody, box out? Is it, this person didn't run the play properly or set the screen right? Is it because in practice we just run by each other and really don't hit somebody? We really don't hit someone? So it's like every little thing you do, every little detail needs to be perfect in your mind. And it's never going to be perfect,
Yeah.
But it's really saying, I need everything to be perfect. And if you're not on the bus with this, then you shouldn't play. If you're not going to at least try, then you shouldn't do it. I mean, there were times when sometimes our coaches were like, oh, it's okay. And I was like, no, we're not going to move on.
Yeah.
Because that's not what you taught me. No.
Yeah.
Let's do it again.
Yeah.
And so it's a mindset. It's almost an insane mindset. It almost is, to where you just kind of have to get there to do it. And And also another thing is like motivation. You have to find out what really motivates you. You have to find out what motivates each and every one of your teammates. Everyone's different. Some people you have to be really positive and cheery. Some people you might have to talk trash to, and that gets them going. I had teammates, Monique Curry, you couldn't be all positive. She just wanted to know the real deal. Yeah. Like, you could just be flat out and just tell her exactly what you're thinking, and like she'd go. And then others would prefer you just to be really nice and, about it. So learning your teammates and what gets them going, having them trust you, follow you, all the plays, everything. Just like when the coach talks in the huddle and then you're coming on the floor, if there's any questions, you want them to all look at you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You want them to all not go back to the coach. What was that? What was that? It's like, okay, what was that? What are we doing again? Am I cutting here? Okay, good.
Yeah.
You're the coach on the floor. So I know that was super long-winded, and that was a question with a lot. You can write a book on it probably. Yeah. But I think main keys always come in with enthusiasm and energy, positive energy, no matter what, no matter how bad it is. Find the good in it. Always communicate. And strive for perfection.
Thanks for that advice. Honestly, that's the best. That's top tier right there. Speaking of teammates,
you might need to edit that because that was super long.
No, it's perfect. It's perfect, and I'm probably gonna watch this over just to take some notes on it. But let's see. Speaking of your teammates and stuff like that, I know that you said Monique Curry, Niche. Do you still keep in contact with your teammates regularly, or is it just something every now and then you speak to them?
It depends. Some I'm closer with than others, but I played with Elena for years, and Mo, it's here and there. Sometimes people I just tell people, if you're not following Monique Curry on any kind of social media, you need to follow Monique Curry because she is hilarious. So I always look forward to seeing what she's going to put out in the world, and I always make some kind of comment. But I don't really respond back on there because I'm not a big social media person. I'm always writing her you're crazy, or what the hell are you talking about, or whatever. Misty Bass is someone now. Misty Boyd. She has a son. She is about to have another little boy coming soon. So I'm probably one of the closest to Misty. We came in the same time. But a lot of people, you always want to stay in touch and see how people are doing and what they're doing. And especially in the basketball world, when you continue to play and go pro, you just see each other all the time. Whether you're on the team, against, you're overseas, you just see each other a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I feel like me and my teammates, we kind of talk to each other too much sometimes because, we see each other for almost every day out of the year. And then, just talking to them constantly, we can get a headache and probably get into some arguments about nothing and then make up a day later or maybe 2 hours later because. But yeah. So my last question would be, so let's see what I want to ask. How, overall, what makes Duke special to you? It's kind of a deep question.
Yeah, you got these deep questions. What makes Duke special to me? That's the place where I grew up. I think I grew from girl to a woman. Mm-hmm. I wanted not just, I think I was smart in this when I was in high school and being recruited. A lot of my teammates, AAU teammates I played for, people were like championship, or this legendary coach, or this and this. I wanted it all. I wanted a chance to win a championship. I wanted to get the best education I could. And I wanted to have a coach that I know could teach me on the court, but off the court, that cares. I still talk to Coach G a lot about all of this. I'm telling you, I can't tell you how many interviews I've been in, and she's been a huge, important figure. Not just with basketball, but just in my life. And it's I was I can try not to say her name, but it still keeps coming out. Yeah. And so I think that's part of it. I grew from a girl to a woman. And we've had our things. It wasn't all hunky-dory. Like, we had times where, like, I was like, I don't like her. I don't like her. I mean, obviously not enough to like not want to be there.
Yeah.
But then it was because someone look at you and tell you the truth because they care.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, you know, you have to learn the difference. And that's the biggest thing. Had great experience amongst some of the most brightest minds in the world. Amazing athletes around the world, best coaching you can get. But that's where I really did grow and figure out and learn who I am. I'm still learning who I am, but it was kind of a jump for me from, like I said, girl to woman.
Okay, I like that.
A lot of
it sounds cliche, but whenever we say we chose Duke because of basketball as well as academics, people are just like, oh, that's just like the typical answer that everybody gives. But no, like it's a thing. Like, Duke has the best athletic program in the world, and then put academics on that, and it's just like the best of both worlds. So I can.
Yeah, I try to when I look at young kids and they ask me that question, I say, you know, you want to play professionally, you want to do this and that. I've done everything that you probably wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And I still have to get a job when I finish, unfortunately. As women, no, and it's true, and it's something to think about, and I knew about it, and I said, you know, as a woman, you could play at the highest level and do everything, and you'd be very successful, right? But, you know, my max deal in the WNBA is not like Steph Curry's max deal in the NBA. So you have to really think, if you hit every goal that you're reaching for, that you're setting for yourself, now when that's over, at the time, you know, like, I guess you could like see my age now, but at that time when I was 32, 33, and retiring and have accomplished so much, it's like a whole rest of your life left. Now what? And what was interesting for me, you know, I haven't thought about, I'll go back to school, I'll do this. The Duke connection, you know, alumni, like that's been great for me. That's helped a lot. My first job after this was in the NBA league office. And you know who I saw quite a bit in there was Adam Silver. And, you know, known him quite a bit, Duke Blue Devil. He was someone that I talked to kind of a little bit before I got that position. Yeah. So there are certain, you know, I would say methods to my madness, but there was certain, it was a thought process when I did choose Duke. And it is something like that. I looked at that, and that was important to me. And I try to tell young girls that, you know, we're on a different path. A lot of these guys are like, oh, I want to play pro. It's like, once they go out there, if they get drafted and they get a second contract, they should be good to go. But us, we got to do something else.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that, because that's one thing that I kind of had to face reality with, which is hard for a lot of girls who grow up and, you know, are around boys a lot, and then you see them go pro, and then you're just like, oh, maybe one day I can live that life. But in reality, is you can have that goal, you can have that dream, but once you accomplish it, like you said, is not the same. You're gonna have to have that plan B, that's something that you can go to after you're done, because the ball doesn't bounce forever. And that's something that I had to come to grips with, because something I didn't really want to face, but now I kind of face reality after, because, you know, I want to be in the WNBA, I want to play overseas, but in reality, I still need to have something that I can go to that will allow me to, you know, still be happy with my dream out after basketball. So I'm glad.
And I think it's so great, I think it's so great, like you said, you like to write, and I think it's great you have interests other than basketball. That is very important to have that. And playing at Duke, playing in the WNBA, playing in Europe, people want to meet you and want to know you when you're playing. So I tell a lot of women now, in your position or playing pro, if you want to do acting or in the music industry, like, that's the time to reach out and meet people, because you have more of a chance to connect with these people while you're doing something, while you're a name, while you're part of something big and great. And and do it. And then when the summer comes around, maybe you can get an internship. I did an internship every summer, even if it was short, but every summer, because I was like, and I graduate, I have to get a job. Like, I was good when I came out of college. Came out of high school, but I was the least ranked one in a recruiting class of like 5 or 6. Yeah. I wanted to go to the WNBA, but I started when I was 13. So I was like, I got to get a job. Yeah. And then I just kind of, got better and better and better. And, I didn't have to, my plans changed, but I'd say that too. Every summer you can go to Duke as well, but if you get a moment, like, build your resume, like, go get an internship at like an amazing company somewhere, put it on, whether it's something you are super interested in or not, but like, build it, because you want something other than basketball if you can, when you're coming out.
Yep. Well, thank you for all the wise words today. I'm really going to.
I have one more thing to tell you.
What's up?
Really proud of you guys. How you guys
thank you
ended the season. You guys like turned it around. I don't know, y'all were falling asleep the first half. I don't know what y'all were doing, but y'all woke up. Y'all fall asleep or something, but y'all woke up and really showed how good you could be. Next season, that's where you have to start and then go from there. That's the expectation. ACC is going to be even stronger. Things are going to be stronger. But the hard work, what you did, does not go unnoticed. Mm-hmm. It's unfortunate that this all happened and you couldn't go to the tournament to like really make a push. Mm-hmm. But I was really proud to see the fight that you guys showed. And it would have been very easy to say, forget it. We've dug ourselves a little hole, but you guys climbed out. So just to all your teammates, like everybody, just let them know that I was really proud to see that. And I'm always, no matter where I'm at, always rooting for you guys.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I'm going to wrap it up now. I want to say thank you for even taking the time out to do this interview with me. Like I said, you are a legend in my eyes, and I'm so proud of everything that you've accomplished in your life. Thanks for inspiring people like myself and others all around the world. So continue to keep shining your light and being the great person that you are. So
thank you. And shine your light there. Lead us to the next level.
Got you. I got you.